June 21st, 1941. Do you remember those 3.2 million battle-hardened German soldiers, supported by over 3,000 planes, 4,000 armored fighting vehicles, and 15,000 guns? Well, I do, because in just a few hours, they will cross the border and invade the Soviet Union. And before this happens, let's unveil the strategy of Operation Barbarossa. Howdy folks, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the, strategy discussion episode that I was planning to do before beginning this seemingly impossible challenge. Before going into this strategy, I just wanted to show you guys this. This is, let's say, the side-by-side comparison between the new one and the old, so the new Soviet equipment pool versus the old one. The old one refers to the canonical equipment pool that the Soviets have in the 4 scenarios of the historical order of battle mod 3.3 or 3.4 now, I don't remember. But yeah, basically as you can see, I have dramatically increased the amount of light tanks and other medium tanks as well that the Soviets receive, and these numbers are basically the average of all of the vehicles that I could find across I think a dozen of sources, which include Russian primary sources as well as essays and books of military historians and so on and so forth. So yeah, we'll see how will the AI cope with this increased amount of light armored fighting vehicles. But now let's jump straight into the hot topic, which is the strategy of, say, this kind of impossible challenge of Operation Barbarossa. So, Army Group North. Army Group North has Leningrad as its first objective, and then the screening of the Leningrad-Kalinin railway line as its secondary objective. Now, to reach Leningrad, my idea is to use the 18th Army here to clear out Lithuania, Courland, Latvia, and Estonia. Estonia can be cleared with ideally 2 army corps. I think these will be the 26th and the 38th, while the 1st will advance along the Pskov, Blusia, Gdov area, together with the 50th Army Corps, which will arrive on the next turn, basically next week. And then these 2 Army Corps will then kind of screen the right flank, while the 2 Army Corps arriving in from Estonia will lay the siege of Leningrad and will take part in capturing Leningrad by the end of 1941. And then of course they will be redeployed along the let's say eastern front to protect the flank of the 18th Army. The 16th Army, this one here, will advance from East Prussia towards Daugavpils, and then from Daugavpils towards this area here of Novosokolniki and Novorzhev, and then the 16th Army will have the not easy task of advancing across the the marshes here, take Kolm, Demyansk, and then secure the area here behind the Mista river. The 4th Panzer Group will have to be the spearhead of Army Group North. The first objective of the 4th Panzer Group is within the first week to cross the Daugava, ideally at Daugavpils, Yekabpils, and Riga, and then on the second turn it will have to take Pskov. Now, the fall of Pskov really depends on luck, because it really depends on how the AI will position its troops behind this river here, and also depends on how many units will retain their insane amount of CPPs, which happens, and also which units will have ideally 50 movement points. at the beginning of the second turn. And then once I will have taken Pskov, I will need to jump. Maybe for the role-playing challenge, I will just use von Manstein's 56th Motorized Army Corps to advance towards Novgorod, and then from Novgorod take Schlisselburg, because I, as you can see here, this is the latest challenge, event-driven challenge, and I want to take Schlisselburg by the end of July, because I really badly want to have an additional army with which to spread out my divisions and relieve the other armies from their potential overburden in the chain of command. And then, yeah, so I will use Manstein's 56th Motorized Army Corps to take Schlisselburg, and then once Schlisselburg has been taken and the event has been triggered, I will take Ozinoviets, because the fall of Ozinoviets, combined with the Finnish offensive in Karelia, will completely isolate all of the Red Army troops left over here in Estonia, as well as in the Leningrad region. And if I could manage to besiege Leningrad, say, by late August, early September, this would be a huge advantage for, say, for the Axis armies. And then the 4th Panzer Group, I really don't know what to do with it. Maybe it will... I don't know, it depends. We will see in the course of the campaign. I really have no idea. Army Group Center. The objectives of Army Group Center are two, at least in the early stages of Operation Barbarossa. The first one is Minsk, which will fall within the first week of the invasion, following the same, let's say, strategy that I showed you in the tutorial about the pocket of Bialystok and Minsk. And then on the second turn, because the 3rd Panzer Group will be kind of spread around this area, I will use the 57th Motorized Army Corps to attack Vitebsk and take Smolensk, while the 39th Motorized Army Corps will either advance towards Veliki Luki and maybe even link up with elements of the 4th Panzer Group to maybe surround in this pocket here all of the enemy troops still left behind, or it will just attack towards Veliki Luki and set the stage for the next push towards the Kalinin-Leningrad railway line. At the same time, Guderian's 2nd Panzer Group will advance from the Minsk area across the Dnieper, take Mogilev, and ideally link up with elements of the 3rd Panzer Group around Smolensk. Now, this second pocket will be extremely risky, because especially the 2nd Panzer Group may not have the sufficient movement points to cross all of this difficult to cross terrain, and also because since I won't have the support of the infantry, it will be pretty risky, because I might either get my units encircled or the AI could just escape the pocket before it's closed. So it's a gamble. A gamble that I'm willing to take. And then Army Group Center, at least the mechanized formations of Army Group Center, will take 1 week of rest, let's say, while the infantry will first of all clear out the Bialystok-Minsk pocket, and then the potential Vitebsk, Smolensk, Mogilev pocket. And then Army Group Center will be divided into two, let's say, will spearhead two separate offensives. One offensive would be directed towards the north, towards Rezhev and Kalinin, and this will be spearheaded by the 9th Army and the 3rd Panzer Group. The 4th Army will ideally take a forward defense between Dorogobush and Spasdemiansk, and maybe even Roslav or Kirov, I don't know. And yeah, the 4th Army will just temporarily dig in, while the 2nd Panzer Group and the 2nd Army will swing southwards, with the objective of taking Gomel and Chernigov for the 2nd Army and crossing the Desna for the 2nd Panzer Group. And then, of course, the crossing of the Desna will hopefully be linked to the closure of another pocket east of Kiev. And then once this has been achieved, I will launch my version of Operation Typhoon. Now this this version of Operation Typhoon will not be aimed at taking Moscow, but rather will be aimed at encircling all of the as many Soviet divisions as I possibly can between Rzhev, Vyazma, Bryansk, Oryol, and Kaluga. I want to surround them, annihilate them, and then start to dig in, let's say, by the end of September. So I am on a very rigid time schedule. In theory, nothing has to go wrong, even though I can already feel that many things will go wrong according to the Murphy's Law. Army Group South will have a difficult start, mainly because of the low movement points of the 3 panzer divisions here. But then the first objective of Army Group South would be the capture of Kiev. At the same time, I will sacrifice 1 or 2 mobile units of the 1st Panzer Group during the second turn to swing southwards towards Proskurov, maybe even Vinnytsia, and then to link up with the 1st Romanian Armored Division, which will have the task of advancing across Okonitsa and maybe even Bar and Zhmerinka to seal into the, I would say, into the Galician pocket all of the Red Army troops that the AI will leave behind. Because yes, I've been testing this already a couple of times, and I've always seen the AI leaving a kind of screen of troops here in this kind of salient-like formation, which is very inviting for me to just attack them on the flanks and then seal them off and then annihilate them with the 3rd Romanian Army. Now, to help the AI in having more troops to use on the second turn, I will also use the 16th Panzer Division to activate the southern front. Because, yeah, I want to be kind to the AI and give the AI this advantage as well. And then once Army Group South, namely the 6th Army, will have taken Kiev, the next objective will be the crossing of the Dnieper River. I mean, I said the next objective, even though I think I will cross the Dnieper even before taking Kiev, which again, the AI could easily help me in doing this, because I've seen the AI just at random points just abandoning the Dnieper fortified line, which again will be a huge advantage for me, because I really want to cross this formidable barrier without a shot being fired. And then once Kiev has been taken and the Dnieper has been crossed, I will of course link up with the 2nd Panzer Group with just 1 motorized army corps, while the rest of von Kleist's 1st Panzer Group will advance in a broad direction towards Kharkov and Dnipropetrovsk at first, and then towards Stalino, and maybe even take Rostov. The 17th Army will basically screen the Dnieper flank, and then will take part in, let's say, guarding up the 1st Panzer Group left flank between Kharkov and this area here. The German 11th Army will advance into Ukraine, take Kryvyi Rog, and then Nikolaev, Kherson, cross the Dnieper here, and then march into Crimea. The objective of the 11th Army is, of course, to take Sevastopol before the end of 1941, and then if the AI will be generous enough to abandon the Kerch crossing, the 11th Army will definitely cross the Kerch Strait and advance into the Taman Peninsula as deep as it possibly can. Lastly, I think this is the 4th Romanian Army will have the task of taking Odessa, even though I even might use the 11th Army to do this. And then once Odessa has been taken, the 4th Romanian Army will cover the, I would say, left flank of the German 11th Army, and then will protect the right flank of the 1st Panzer Group. I really don't know how much I could use the Romanians during the winter counteroffensive, so maybe they would just sit behind and dig foxholes for the Germans. Even though, yeah, I don't know. It depends on how many troops I have along the front line and whether the entire front line can be covered by German troops only. And wow, that was, let's say, roughly the plan for Operation Barbarossa. There is still one small topic that I wanted to discuss about, and this is the manual repair of the railways. And if we think it's Control 9, yeah, exactly. So I have just highlighted the FBD units, and I have, let's say, two ideas, especially for FBD 2 and FBD 3. FBD 4 will repair the Kaunas, Vilnius, Daugavpils, Pskov, Luga, Leningrad, Kalinin railway line. If there are problems around Luga because of Soviet resistance or something else, I will then use the Porkov, Soltsy, Novgorod, Chudovo, Leningrad line, because it's just the double tracked railway line here. The FBD 2, I think this one, yeah, exactly, the FBD 2 will advance and repair the Alytus, Vilnius, Molodechno railway line. And then I don't know what to do, if to send it northwards directly towards Veliki Luki, or to send it towards Minsk and then Orsha, Smolensk, Vitebsk, Veliki Luki, and then Andreapol, Toropets, and then link up here with the FBD 4. I'm, let's say, planning to divert the FBD 2 towards Minsk, because I was also thinking of diverting the FBD 3 southwards. Now, I know some people do this, I have never tried it before, and one reason why I was thinking about diverting the FBD 3 southwards was basically to speed up the advance of Army Group South. One, let's say, comment against this idea is that Army Group South will be significantly weaker over the course of the campaign, because I will send to the Balkans the 2 mountain divisions as well as the 4 light infantry divisions to basically to activate this event-driven mission to hunt down Tito and its gangsters before it's too late. And so by losing 6 divisions, I will of course have less, I will have a reduced freight requirement, which of course would suggest that the FBD-3 should just advance towards the Baranovichi, Minsk, Orsha, Smolensk railway line. Yeah, I don't know. Again, this is something that I will have to think pretty fast before Operation Barbarossa begins, because then from Smolensk I could either go southwards and repair the Orsha, Mogilev, Gomel, Bakhmach, Kiev, even though this will take a lot of time. Otherwise I will just send it southwards towards Kovel, Rovno, Zhitomir, Kiev, and then move it up again to reinforce Army Group Center once again. While the FBD 1 will just advance towards Lviv, Ternopil, Proskurov, Vinnytsia, Fastiv, and then Cherkasy, I think, Dnipropetrovsk, maybe Zaporizhia, and Stalino. Again, I will divert the FBD 1 southwards to help the 11th Army in getting resupplied during its advance into Crimea. But again, I don't know. The Romanian FBD will just repair the Kishinev, Odessa, and maybe Nikolaev railway line. But again, these are just the plans, and no plans survive the first clash with the enemy. So, yeah, I don't know. You can write down in the comment section here below what you think about it. If you have any other strategy, so maybe I could use your strategy in the upcoming campaign, if it makes sense to me, of course. And well, folks, that was it. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for supporting the channel, folks. I wish you all the best, and stay tuned, because in less than 24 hours, yeah, we will cross the border and invade the Soviet Union. And I wish you all the best, and I hope to see you all in the next episode.